evening, and welcome to the Yorktown Middle School Band Concert and Clinic Night live stream. I'm so glad you're here, and I hope you'll take a moment to subscribe to the YHS Media channel on YouTube so you can stay up to date to all of the live stream band concerts, athletic events, and more. Sit back, enjoy the show, leave a comment. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm looking forward to a wonderful performance, and we'll hope to see you all very soon.
Good evening. My name's Chuck Ruth, and I've helped out with middle school and high school band programs in a trivial way, but I've helped out for 22 years around here. And it started when my kids were in school, and then they graduated, but I didn't. And this evening, it's so exciting to be able to welcome everybody back for a genuine live performance. Mr. Miller tells me it was exactly a year ago tomorrow, I believe, that things kind of went on a lockdown and there were no more live performances of any kind of music in the past year. In fact, the 7th grade had played an hour before us here. It was like a year and 4 or 5 months that they had played in front of an audience. So it's very exciting to welcome back a live audience. We can do that because you all are staying masked, and we appreciate that. We have to stop the concert if people aren't masked. So thank you for doing that. Special thank you to Mr. Dudley and Mr. Strong. Without their assistance, tonight's in-person concert would not be possible. Special thank you to Wendy Gilliam and the YHS Media team for their assistance in live streaming this event. And a thank you to YHS Superintendent Dr. Henshaw for his continued support of the entire music program at Yorktown Schools. Our program continues to grow and flourish because of his active support. Tonight is a festival night. It's not exactly a concert. What you're going to hear are the 8th grade band performing for you their 2 pieces, and then we're going to have some clinicians working with the band. You're going to see what it's like for conductors to work with groups and see how that results in final things sounding better than what they did sound like when we first started with them. Our 2 guest clinicians this evening are Clay Arnett from Yorktown High School and Mr. Nathan Hostetler, Assistant Director of Bands from Pendleton Middle School and High School. Welcome to them. We also have student teacher A.J. Kolonowski from Ball State University. He's here somewhere. And he's been very active this semester with the program as well. So now we're going to pretend like this is the real concert, and just like it would be if they went to an actual festival. So I'm going to step aside here and introduce tonight's performing group. Tonight, hailing from Yorktown, Indiana, it's the 8th grade band under the direction of Mr. Dan Miller and Mr. Kolonowski from this They will be playing, well, I forgot to mention, they will be playing at the Apex and Acolyte. Please welcome them.
Well, hello, band. Hi. It's exciting to hear you. It is. You guys sound fantastic. I'm very pleased. There is a tremendous amount of good things that you're doing, but unfortunately, I have 10 minutes.
Yeah, give or take.
Give or take. So that means 30. So we don't have time to go through all the good things, but one of the things I really liked was your balance. There's things in there that I liked well, which is the wind section, that I heard the moving lines, that are confident, and that's great. It's great for you guys to be playing again. I'm happy for you. My band's played again. They just got done a concert last night. We played in the gym too, so there's some things I think we should talk about to do with in the gym. Percussion, come on, stand up. Let's get out that last piece. We're going to hit an accolade first. One thing about playing in a gym is it's very boomy. Everyone, play one quarter on a concert F and just go bum, percussion hit something. Ready? Bum. I'll count you off. 1, 2, ready, aim. Dampen that cymbal for me. Do it again. 1, 2, ready, aim. It's still going. The room is so big and it's so echoey, isn't it? So everything just travels. And percussion, I'm sorry you're too loud. Mr. Arnett's probably going to tell you to play louder. I want you to play soft. Okay, it's very loud and it just dampens away from what else everything is happening. It's like percussion, yes. I love percussion too, but it was loud at some point. So we got to keep that in mind. Are you guys rehearsing in your band room? So that's what it is. So we're rehearsing in our band room too. Then we perform in our gym. Our high school is so large, like that band can't rehearse in their band room, so we're rehearsing in a gym. So I understand gyms a lot like that because we're rehearsing in one with some of my band. So it is going to be boomy, it's going to be loud. Okay? Other things, it's contrasting dynamics as well. We always want to shoot for a difference of dynamic level. From piano, which means soft, right? And then forte, which is loud. But sometimes we go even higher, fortissimo. But we have to have that difference, contrasting dynamics. Matter of fact, a lot of organizations critique us on that and judge us. And it makes the music more interesting, more importantly. So whatever you can do to make that difference is really huge. At the ending of this piece, I was hoping for something more of dynamics. It didn't happen. This huge dynamic contrast. So let's do the ending of this. Let's start. The best spot, I guess, is 110, the key change. So we'll start there. But before we do that, look at 118. It's subito, mezzo forte, all of a sudden. I didn't hear any change right there. And subito means suddenly. You have to change suddenly. It's very difficult to make that happen. Let's see if we can do that. So 117, beat 4 is suddenly mezzo forte. We're going to drop it down at least 2 dynamic levels. And then we're going to bring up the ending. You will sound bigger. You will sound stronger at the end if we do that. Here we go, 110. Just right, Mr. Miller?
110. Is that in the peak?
No.
That's triumphant.
Here we go. And 1, 2, 110, and. Lead that crescendo as well. We're going to talk about the pyramid of sound, right? You guys heard of that? The pyramid, you draw it, the low voices are at the bottom, the bass drums at the bottom, because they're harder to hear, so we want more of them. The higher voices cut through more, so we need less of them. So let the low brass lead that crescendo and not let the snares dominate so much on that, okay? And that'll be better. I know I'm conducting a little bit differently than Mr. Miller, but we will try to do that retardando a little bit more. Stretch that out, milk that for all it's worth. Okay? Let's try that again. It's getting cleaner. I still want 117 all of a sudden to drop out. And then build it back up. It'll be big. It'll be a big contrast is what we want. Here we go. 110 again. And 1, 2, ready. everyone's getting the key right at the end. You heard a wrong accidental at 118, so be careful. Let me hear everyone play the last chord. Oh, I want you to take warm air, take a deep breath, and make sure it's dark sound. It's going to help you sound better. Ready? 2, last note. I don't want you to play loud. I don't want you to hear your low brass friends playing. Don't overplay that. Make sure you can hear them. Where's our tubas at? Right there on the end, right? All right, here we go. Try it. Ready? 2, last note. That will help darken up that sound too. Makes you sound more mature. Something that makes you sound immature is breathing more than you should. There was a couple spots where I thought the breathing was happening too much. One thing is to never do is you never breathe after a crescendo. And I marked it, and I have to find it. Forgive me. Oh, there it is, 58. It's a crescendo, and then all of a sudden nothing happens. It's like climbing a stair step, and then the guy falls off the mountain and dies. All right, no one wants anyone to die, so we're going to keep climbing, and we're going to go. It'll be like a nice epic moment. Let's get into that. Let's see if we can do that with getting our breath under control. Check your key. Here's 51. I like this piece because it changes keys so often. Oh, I love a good key change. Here we go, 51. Is this the right tempo, folks? Is that good? Here we go, and 51. Da, da, da. That was fantastic. So you fixed that. No breath after crescendo. That's like a major rule. Don't ever break that. Moving along, let's try that again and go forward. Here's 51, going forward. I want this to be softer here. Mezzo piano to me is really soft because it's hard to play soft for a big band like you guys. 51, ready? It'll help the groove go too. 1, 2, 51. So 67 is the favorite part, right? Yeah, I like that low voices. That whatever we could do to play that out would be great. Okay. I also thought at 62, now that I'm in front of you, flutes, clarinet, oboes, I can hear you now. I couldn't hear you back there, probably because of the percussion and where I was sitting, but now I can hear you. You guys can play a little bit out more at 62 as well. Just overall balanced stuff to make sure that can happen. Everybody, let's start to get this crescendo. This is 57, 2 before 59, 57, get the crescendo happening, no breath. Go on, low brass, bring out that, it's your rock and roll section. You should live for these moments because we don't get very good lines that often. Here we go, 57, 1 and 2 and 57. I noticed in the other piece, and I'll let Mr. Arnett touch on this, the 16th. We don't like to do 16th. We have 16th happening right here. So this rhythm is one of my favorite. Everyone say day to day. Day to day. This is the dotted 8th, 16th rhythm. Da, da, da. To make sure that you have a good crisp tone on that 16th note. A lot of times it gets left off, and in here, you're not going to understand it. You're not going to hear it. Da, da, da. All right? Everyone, let's try that together to help the low brass a little bit. I want everyone on concert to just say, or play, day to day. Dun, da, dun. Ready? Concert F. 1, 2, ready, go. See how hard it is to get that 16th note to pop out, especially this tempo? We really have to strive for that. Day to day. Ready? 1, two, ready, and. A little bit better. Let me hear low voices, I should say. Probably low reeds are playing it too. Let me hear you guys play that melody at 67. 1, 2, da da ba ba ba. 1 day today. 1, 2, 67. Now, it's also a key we don't really like, right? I love E flats on my trombone. I do. So we gotta make sure E naturals and A naturals are happening quite a bit. Here we go, 67. Everybody's in. Go back one measure, 66. I always want to hear these crescendos build up before we get to the rehearsal number. Here we go, 66, everybody. Da da da, bum bum bim. Really big, 2, ready, go. At 83 as well. So I'm hearing the dotted 8/16 rhythm, but it's not very clear again. Let me hear the flutes, oboe, clarinet 1, trumpet 1 play that. 4 minutes, thank you. 1 day today. Dee da da da. So you can clear up these 16th note. Ready? High voices. 1, 2, 83, and. Do me a favor, check your posture, make sure you're sitting up, give me lots of air. This should be really loud. This is the main line at this moment right now, and it's not very strong. Dee dum da da needs to be brought out a lot. 1, 2, ready, go. Since we're going a little fast, you don't need to play dotted quarter notes as long as what they should get. That way the 8th note can come in correctly. So I'm looking at the dotted quarter note 83. Dee dum da 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 dee da dum da, because you need to jump on that 8th note sooner. So put a little break in there. Here we go, 83. Dee da 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 dee da da da. 2, ready, and. And then we get to some slurring issues right there at 85. So make sure you get a tongue still on those 16ths. Everybody is in 75. This was a great balance moment during your concert. I really loved what you did at 75. Thought the balance was great right here. Build this up. 83's got to be strong though. 1, 2, relax, 75, and go. Right there. I'm running out of time, but flutes, there was a big key moment at 90. You heard a lot of E flats happening at 90 when you shouldn't have. So I always tell my students, if you're coming across a key and it changes constantly, this piece changes all the time. I'm forgetful guy. I have to write an accidental down. You're going to take your pencil, you're going to write down the naturals next there, because if you do it once, you're probably going to do it again. And you want to be that kid who keeps making that mistake. So fix those accidentals, don't let that happen. Getting cleaner 83 with those articulations on the 16th note, I really like that. Overall, I think you guys sound great. I want more contrast in your dynamics. I want your soft softer, your loud louder. It's going to make you sound more impressive. Congratulations today on a great performance. I enjoyed it, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Arnett, your future band director.
Everybody stand up. So, a couple things to start. One, I'm having a really good time. I mean, I really am. You know, have you missed playing? Because I've missed listening, I can tell you. And this is great. this is kind of like a little slice of normal, isn't it? And it makes me feel better hearing you. So I want to thank you for that. Because, when you play, don't forget, you're playing for people. And what you do in music matters. And you guys have a skill. You have a skill that not everyone has. And you're sharing it. And I'm somebody who's been around this my whole life. And you made my night better. And I appreciate it. I really do. The second part of it is, I want to also thank you for not making me come up here and talk to you about, in the piece that I'm looking at, a bunch of wrong notes or a bunch of wrong rhythms. Because I thought we didn't have much of that going on. If we were on a scale, there is so much that you're doing that's right and good. I mean, there's some things you're doing. I kind of wanted to have a little recording and take to my high school rehearsal tomorrow and go, listen to the way the 8th graders do this. Can you do it like that? Because that's pretty good. You guys are doing so much right. I can think of 4 things, though, in Apex that we can probably talk about. Number 1, we are going to address percussion. Percussion. You are too loud. But, there's but. You are too loud and it's not your fault. Okay? It's not your fault. You're too loud because there are multiple instruments on the part. And when they write the part, they really write it for one snare drum. But that's not real. That doesn't work in our world that way, because we have to have everybody play and we want to get multiple parts played. So you're doing nothing wrong. You're doing nothing wrong. But if you're marking forte and there's 2 of you playing it, bump it down to mezzo forte. If there's 3 of you playing it, bump it down to mezzo piano. Because by the time you get 3 people playing mezzo piano, it's going to sound forte. Okay? But it's strong. Percussion, this is the strongest percussion section I've heard in a long time, especially at the middle school. Woohoo! Okay? Yeah, absolutely. Keep it up. And if you want to play loud, marching band. Because you can play as loud as you want, it'd be all right. Okay? You guys do great. The second thing is I want you to go to measure 27. This is kind of cool. There are different styles, different lines being played at the same time here. But you know what's happening? And it's one of those things where, you know how you get the cafeteria trays and they got the little spaces for the food, right? And then sometimes they have the tiger bowl and they throw everything together. You know what I'm talking about? Okay? When we're playing, you guys are kind of starting to take those different things and kind of mush them together. So instead of getting one line that's really whoa, 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 nice and smooth, and another one that's da, 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 and there's differences, we kind of get a little kind of mixture of it all. And I would like to embrace the fact that it's different, because when you have those different things happening at the same time, they sound really cool. Okay? Can we go to 27? And let's just have you play it once, and then we'll break it down from there, okay? Everybody at 27. How's that? Okay, here we go. 27, and 1, 2, ready, and. Percussion and the low brass and the low reeds that have da, 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 da. And I want that to be a little more marcato, a little more separated, okay? A little more rigid, a little more military, okay? Let me just hear that. Percussion and those people. 1, 2, 27, and. No. I want and you're giving me, oh, the tulips are pretty, okay? I want different. I want da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Ready? 1, 2, ready, and. Good. Feel the power and the articulation and the separation there. I like it. It's a good foundation, okay? If you were a duck, if the band was a duck on the water, right? The duck on the water, when you look at it, it's all smooth and, oh, isn't that beautiful and majestic? And underneath, the duck's going, oh, 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 oh. Right? You guys are pedaling. You're the pedalers. Now, what is the beautiful duck gliding? It is the flutes, the oboes, the clarinets. Okay, rest. Right on the edge of the mountain. Oh, the wind's blowing, right? Let me hear the people play it. Group I just said, and I want it nice and legato and smooth, and I want it to be the opposite of what they were doing. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Good. Do it again. Let's slow down just a little bit. Ready? Okay, and stop tapping your thumb. Okay, 1, 2, ready, and 1. How do we make it sound more legato? How do we make it sound more smooth and connected? Somebody give me an idea. Yes? Okay, yeah. Make it more slurred. Make it more slurred where the articulation's not bumping it so much. What else can we do?
Instead of ta or da.
Yeah, that's excellent. Great comment. Instead of ta, use da or do. Do, 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 because it's a softer, rounded tongue. Okay? Let me hear that group again. The third thing I would say is keep the air moving. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Good. Now the last thing I'll ask you to do is make the notes as long as possible because we're kind of rushing on the quarters a little. Can you hear it? It's like we're in a hurry. We're like da 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 da. One last time. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Yes. Now let's get that group that just played, and then my peddlers. Okay? Yeah, I'm a peddler. Okay? Right? So we should hear two different styles, one on top of the other. Ready? Those people. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, the other thing I hear you doing, and this is just kind of a natural reaction, and this is excellent, is because somebody's doing something different, you're actually listening to them more. Because they're not getting mixed in with what you're doing. Okay? It's like looking in your closet and going, especially Yorktown, you're like, Kelly Green. Oh, an orange shirt. Let's wear that. Okay? You're hearing something different, it draws your attention. That's excellent. Okay? Let's have the people who have the other line. This would be trumpets. Oh, looks like altos. Okay? Kind of a middle of the road line, okay? So maybe not as slurred and legato as the high woodwinds, but definitely not as articulate as what's happening in the low brass and reeds, okay? So altos and trumpets. Let's hear those people at 27. 1, 2, 3, and go. Okay, now wait a minute. That's a little okay, let's try to dial it in there a little bit so it's more like oh, tom tom. Okay, 1, 2, ready, and. Not bad. Wow, I'll tell you what, for a trumpet and alto sound together, you guys are blending not too bad there. Do it again. If you feel like you can't hear the people around you, play a little softer. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes! There we go. Everybody except percussion. Percussion will add you in a minute. Everybody except for percussion, okay? Let's hear these three different lines merge together. Ready? And 1, 2, 27, and. Excellent. Percussion, we're going to add you. You're like salt. Okay? You're like salt in my food. A little bit tastes a lot. And I have to say I only use a little bit because Dr. Ruth is right there. Okay? But you guys, why is your blood pressure low? You guys adding to it. Okay? So if you are playing too loud, if you're covering that up, it's like having mashed potatoes and you dump too much salt on it and you ruin it. Okay? So you guys play a little closer to the rim, just a little closer to the rim, and see if we can add without subtracting. Everybody at 27 now. Ready? Can we set nice and straight? Show me you're ready. All right, nice job. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, that's great. That is really nice stuff there, okay? Good job. That kind of discussion we just had about how to play that's not a discussion we typically have in 8th grade. That's a discussion I'm having with the older band at the high school. And you guys took it and absorbed it up, and I'm proud of you, okay? Next thing, 81 and 82. You guys will learn when you come to the high school next year. Mr. Arnett loves McDonald's, but you probably already know that, right? Okay. But Mr. Arnett loves trills. I love them, okay? I think they are the coolest thing in music. Whenever you play a trill, I want you to play it and play it loud, okay? Make me tell you there's not enough. So, look at measure 81, please. He says, flipping through his score. There we go. 81. Can I hear my flutes and oboes and clarinets play that trill? One before 82. Play it. Okay, so faster, louder. Faster and louder, okay? You won't get this, but your parents will. We want it like the Mario that flew, okay? Nice and fast. Ready? Come on! There you go. Okay, yeah. In the middle of the trill, you've got to be fast, because if not, it's like, and you're in France and an ambulance is going by, okay? At 82 now, can I hear that trill? 82, right on it. Ready? Okay, that one's going to be harder because it's lower for some of you, right? Okay? The lower ones are harder. That's why when you go down the road and an ambulance comes by or a police car, the siren is high because it cuts. They can hear it. When you play lower, it doesn't. So you have to play louder with lower. Okay? Do it again. Play that trill at 82, and I want it just as loud as the one as 81. Ready? And. Wow, this is nice. I ask and you do. Okay? Can we put that in there so I can hear it pop out? 74, please. 74. Same as my age. 74. And 1, 2, 3, and. Talk to you about is crescendos, and Mr. H already started on this, okay? He already told you one of the 2 rules of crescendos. Don't breathe. It ruins the effect. The second one, does anybody know what the second rule of crescendos is? The second, yeah.
Play them fully, like play the whole thing.
You're correct. You're correct. Another one about the beginning is start them softer, right? Start them softer so they have more impact. Okay? When there is sound and it's going on and it's going on and it's going on and you wait for the next thing to happen, the best thing you can do is take sound away. It gets people's attention. So when you do a crescendo, you start by doing it softer. So would you guys go to measure 47 for me? Measure 47. Let's do that. Does everybody have a crescendo there, I hope? Yeah. You got 4 notes. Mezzo piano to forte. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Thank you. Play the first note. Play the first note. Ready? At mezzo piano. That's good. That's good. Now, because we want to start it even softer than it's written, take it down to piano forte. Ready? Keep the air fast. Good. Now play the final note, the forte. Okay? Right at what is that? Right on the downbeat of 48. Ready? Play forte. And. Now play those 4 notes in crescendo. crescendo on them. I want them from here to here. Ready? 1, 2, and jump. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Last thing we're going to do with the crescendos, and then my time will be done, is I want you to go to the very ending. And at the very ending, you have 3 and 4 and 1, right? Let's do what we just did with 47 and 48, but make the 3 and 4 and 1 at the end have that kind of small to large impact. I'll give you 2 and you play it. Ready? I'll give you 2 and you go 3 and 4 and 1. Ready? 1, 2. You think we started soft enough? No, of course we didn't. Do it again. And. What comes after? Oh, 1. Okay, ready? And. I get confused sometimes. 1, 2. Play the first note. Last ear. Next note. Next note. Next note. Play, we'll be done. Here we go. And 1, 2. Now we can do better. And 1, 2. Great job. Good job.
There's a lot of logistics for tonight, yeah? You guys have heard more from me in a week's time than you've heard for a year and a half. Okay, so thank you, first off. Weren't they awesome? Makes me really excited for what's to come, for pushing them into the marching band program and the high school program and everything after that. Lots of logistics, so sit tight. I'm going to give these guys instruction, and then we'll get everybody home. Thank you.
And as Mr. Miller said, we just wanted to take the opportunity since you're here. You probably received the mailing at home and then the email from Mr. Miller. We're putting together the marching band. We're ready to move on with this season. Finally, the marching band will start with 50 members.
All the stand racks are back there. Go ahead and wrap everything you have. If you have an available hand, once you put the instrument away, to help percussion, I want to go get the trailer. I want the same 5